Hey guys, it's me, Chef Marty from Chow Dawg Barbecue, and today I got a nice one for you. Baked macaroni and cheese for a crowd. You're gonna love this one. Stay tuned. Alright, here are our ingredients. We're gonna need a large aluminum pan, milk. I'm gonna use about 5 to 7 cups, depending on how the sauce comes out. More about that in a second. We're gonna need block cheese. Here's a pro tip. Always use the block cheese when you're making macaroni and cheese, because it doesn't come with that film that they use, they coat it with to keep it from sticking. And some of the best flavor you get from the actual block cheese. So if you have time to shred it yourself, which I'm gonna do here in a minute, you want to do that because it'll separate you from everybody else. Also, we're going to need some Velveeta. I'm going to use this whole 32 ounces of Velveeta. I'm going to use 2.5 pounds of elbow macaroni. I'm going to use just a little bit of salt, onion powder, garlic powder. Gonna need some black pepper, paprika, and parsley for garnish, and another secret ingredient, hot sauce. All right, I'll be right back and we'll start getting into it. All right, what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna put my fire on medium, low heat. I'm gonna add initially 4 cups of milk to start with. And we're gonna add our Velveeta cheese. And just gonna slowly let that melt a little bit. Periodically, I'll break it up as it melts. We're just gonna let that melt slowly in this milk, stirring it occasionally or constantly. Be right back after this melts a little bit. I am back. As you can see, our cheese has all but melted in this 4 cups of milk. I got it on medium low. I've been stirring constantly. I'm now going to add half of our cheese. I've shredded the block of cheddar and I've shredded the blocks of mozzarella, so I'm going to add about half of the cheddar, roughly about 8 ounces, to the sauce. I'm also going to add roughly about 8 ounces of the mozzarella. And I'm just gonna continue to stir this. I'm gonna reduce my heat just a little bit. I'm gonna stir this until it's nice and melted. So in actuality, this is now my base. My cheese sauce is my base. So what I've done is I've replaced the need to have flour, add butter, create a roux, and then add the milk. This has replaced it. My Velveeta, my milk, has become my sauce. I'm now enhancing this with this cheese sauce. At the same time, I've already started my water for my noodles. This is just water, and I added a little bit of salt, and when it comes to a raging boil, I'm gonna go ahead and add my noodles and cook them to al dente. So I'll be back with that and I'll see you in a minute. My cheese sauce, my cheese have melted in my cheese sauce. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of onion powder. Get another one. Onion powder. Again, estimate about a tablespoon. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of garlic powder. Gonna add some black pepper. And I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of hot sauce. That hot sauce is just gonna allow all the flavor of these seasonings to come out. This is it. Really, really simple cheese sauce. I'm leaving it kind of loose because, again, those noodles are going to suck up a lot of the sauce, and I don't want it to be too tight. So I'm leaving it kind of loose. There's going to be the other 8 ounces of the cheddar and 8 ounces of the mozzarella. It's going to top it, but this is going to actually come out to be perfect, nice and cheesy, nice and smooth. Okay, that's it for the cheese sauce. I'm going to reduce the heat to really low. Just keep it. I'm going to continue to stir it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn it off, and then I'm going to reheat it after my noodles are done. So I'll see you at that time. All right, here we go. We're back. I've cooked my noodles al dente. They've been on here about 9 minutes, so they're not quite done, but I want to take them out now because they're going to go in the oven with the macaroni and cheese. So I'm going to go over to my sink. Now notice I've stacked my strainers so that when I pour the water in there, if some should go in the drain and come back up, it's not going to be touching my noodles. I see a lot of cooks make that mistake, so we don't want it to happen to us. So we're going to pour the noodles. Make sure I don't turn them over. Let me get my strainer. Okay. And now I'm going to immediately shock these with some cold water. And while I'm shocking these, because I want to stop the cooking process right now. I don't want these to continue to cook and in fact overcook before I put them in the oven. So I'm adding cold water to it. I'm going to stir them gently just to stop the cooking process. They don't need to be ice cold. I just need to stop the cooking process so they're no longer cooking, because steam will continue to cook these noodles if you don't do this part right here. Alright, and now I'm just going to pour these into my pan. Before I do that, I'm going to hit it with a little bit of cooking spray, like so. That's that. Now, what I'm going to do now is the same ingredients I use for the sauce I'm going to put in here. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper, about a tablespoon. I'm going to add some onion powder. And I'm going to add some garlic powder. So now we have the cheese sauce that is nice and seasoned, and now we have the noodles that is nice and seasoned. So there's no way that you're gonna have bland macaroni, because both the cheese sauce and the noodles are now seasoned. So now I'm gonna go and grab my cheese sauce that's been on there on low. I just turned it back on to make sure it's still good and hot. I have my oven already preset at 350 degrees. Gonna add that to our noodles. Just like so. Try to get some of all of that out of there. Waste not, want not. Let's get all that goodness out of there. And what we're gonna do is just gonna go ahead and give this a good stir so that it's nice and incorporated. Notice the consistency of the cheese sauce. Again, I want that to be nice and loose like this so that as it bakes and tightens up, it doesn't be too thick. But this is about right. And if it is too thick, this is a good time to add more milk to it. This is why I said, you know, 5 to 8 cups. So far we've only used 4 cups. But if you want to loosen this up here, you can add another cup to it and just stir it up. So now I'm going to add the toppings, which is the cheese sauce. I've already washed my hands. So I'm going to just top it with this. This is my block cheddar. I'm gonna use all this. This is the leftover. Remember, we shredded this with a 1 pound block. We put 8 ounces of it, half of it, into the cheese sauce itself, and then we put in the other half into the actual pan. And this is the mozzarella. It's gonna give it that nice gooey flavor. And I've tried this with many different cheeses, Gouda, Colby Jack, whatever. And it all works fine. If you're on a budget and you're keeping this down, especially cooking for a crowd, this sharp cheddar and mozzarella is really all you really need to with the crowd. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some aluminum foil, heavy duty aluminum foil. I'm gonna cover it. I'm gonna place it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. Actually, before I do that, let's top it with a little bit of paprika, just for garnish sake. And a little bit of parsley. Now what I like to do is I like to pour a little bit of parsley into my hands, because anytime you're using a dried herb, you have to touch it in order to wake up the oils to get that flavor. So I pour it in my hand just so I can mix it up a little bit, and then I just sprinkle it as I'm grinding in my fingertips. I'll just sprinkle it over there, but it wakes up the flavor of in it. So if you're ever using Italian seasoning from a jar, be sure to do this, because it wakes up the oils and reactivates the flavor of whatever that herb is going to be. There's not a lot of flavor in parsley. It's more for garnish sakes, but just a habit that I do all the time. So let me get this covered, let me get it in the oven, and I'll see you after the finished product. Okay, Chow Dawg tribe, it has been 45 minutes. This is what it looks like. Macaroni and cheese for a crowd. Nice, creamy and gooey. I'll let this set here for a little bit, cool slightly, but that's it. Macaroni and cheese for a crowd. And this aluminum foil pan, I normally get about 30 portions out of one pan, all depending on who's serving, how I'm serving. But anywhere 25 to be on the safe side, 25 to 30 portions you can get out of that recipe. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go to my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay in touch for when I post out new videos. Go ahead and subscribe on my page, chowdogbbq.com, Chow, DAWGBBQ.com. And guys, I'll see you next time. Take care.